Hello viewers, for DIYers here back on a tutorial video for everyone. Now in this particular video here, I'll be doing a maintenance walkthrough on owning a sunroof with regards to why a sunroof leaks water. Now there's a few different reasons for this, and this can be fixed. Now one of the reasons are improper sunroof alignment. Now what can happen here is if the sunroof sits too low or too high, there won't be a snug fit around the gasket that goes around the outside. So when there is any presence of moisture or water or anything like that, what can happen here is the water can pool up and then slowly seep into the roof cavity, and therefore you have a leaky sunroof. Now most manufacturers require the sunroof to be aligned level with the roof, as you can see on this one here. Sometimes they do vary a little bit. It depends on what the manufacturer has set up for that. Now as for the alignment, now in this particular video here, you can go check out my other BMW E39 sunroof rail replacement video, and towards the end of the video I do show how to align the sunroof up. But with this sunroof, in all four corners there is screws which hold in this whole panel, and they are in elongated holes. Now what you can do is you go loosen those off, and then just pushing up the sunroof by hand or pushing it back down, you can adjust the height of the sunroof. So it's a fairly simple procedure. Now obviously this will depend between vehicle manufacturers or sunroof. Now the next problem which can cause a leaky sunroof is this gasket all the way around here. Now a majority of the time these gaskets are replaceable, and they are fairly inexpensive to buy from the dealership, or you can probably source it out even online or from a local auto parts supplier. Now basically with these gaskets here, they do wear out over time, and being that it is exposed to the sun all the time, they do dry out and crack over a while. Now the other thing is too is that even if you're moving the sunroof up and down all the time, a lot of times the seal on the inside here will wear out. Now this obviously does depend whether there is a seal located on the roof like this vehicle, and I also do have a seal that's located on the glass portion of the sunroof as well. Now this does apply for both ones with the metal inserts or the glass inserts of sunroof designs. Now the next issue which can cause a leaky sunroof is plugged roof drains. Now your roof drains, it's a little hard to see on the camera here, but you'll see there is one located right inside there. You can see where the little my little tube here goes inside. What can happen with these over time? Now if you do live in an area, a heavily forested area, and you find a lot of debris comes down from the trees, or even just normal everyday driving, what can happen is when you do have the sunroof open, this debris can then go inside and plug up your roof drains. Now in order to clean these roof drains, there's a couple different methods which you can use. You can go ahead and just take a small light gauge wire and just stick it all the way down inside, and what that can do, that can unplug whatever is inside the roof drain. Now these roof drains do run all the way down to the bottom of your vehicle, so they will run through the roof itself, and they go down one of the window pillars, and then go down to the ground. Or what else you can use is compressed air. Compressed air also works great cleaning these out. You just simply take the nozzle, blow it inside there, and just push the debris out. Now you can see in this one here, it would be a little harder to get a blowgun nozzle in there, so you might have a little trickier time with that, so then you can resort to the just a piece of wire method. Now next point which I'll be moving on to is sunroof rail lubrication. Now basically what can happen over time is you can see these are exposed when the sunroof is open. Any debris that's present in the air can land in any of the existing lubrication, and then therefore reduce the lubrication qualities in those rails. Or other times, considering it is exposed to the sun, it'll just basically dry out and disappear. So what we want to do is go ahead and clean these and then re-lubricate them. Now for cleaning them, what I use is basically just a lint-free cloth, spray a little brake cleaner on, or some type of degreaser. Go ahead and wipe this nice and thoroughly, clean it up so everything is out there. And then what you want to do is re-lubricate it. Now for lubrication, what I do recommend is lithium grease. Lithium grease does have great lubricating qualities in both cold and warm climates. It doesn't change the state, so it always works well with this. But when you do have a can of lithium grease, what can happen here is when you do spray it in, you want to be very careful with that, because it does tend to go I guess per se everywhere. It does have quite the spray to it, so having just a rag close by, using one of these nozzles is actually what I'm using here for my pointer. This is just a lubrication nozzle. You put it on the can, you want to spray it inside, but then have the rag so it shields it so it doesn't get on your vehicle's interior. Another reason why it's also good to lubricate these rails, besides having the sunroof move back and forth nice and smoothly, what can happen, I know with regards to this one here, this is a BMW E39 body style, they do have a lot of plastic linkage in there, and what does happen over time, they do break. Besides it being fatigued over time, if it's hard to move back and forth, that it can also put a lot of strain on the mechanics of the sunroof mechanism, and in turn will either wear out your parts much quicker than... Now, other areas which you can also go ahead and lubricate, as you can see here, this is just the wind spoiler. So you can see that it does have moving parts as well. You can go ahead around to other parts of the sunroof and oil those using either same thing with the lithium grease, but you do want to be careful of how it sprays, or you can just use a normal just a lubricating oil. As for the lithium grease, just to show you an example here, you can see I do have a can of it. The brand name is LPS, a fairly common brand name, and just white lithium grease, multi-purpose. You can buy it at your local auto parts store. Now this does come in a tube that you can squish out and just apply by hand, or you can also get it in a spray can like this is here. So now, beyond cleaning the sunroof rails, you can also clean the rubber seals or gaskets that do go around the sunroof opening itself. Now basically, with regards to these, what can happen over time is some dirt will just get stuck on this, and then moving back and forth, this can somewhat deteriorate your rubber seals, and this can cause them to leak after a while. So it's something of what is a preventative maintenance. Basically, just to clean those, you just use soap and water. Now, as for applying a solution to this which does make them last longer, prevents them from drying out, a lot of times a dealer will have a recommended substance for these. Depends what kind of material they are made of. And I've even seen other instances where the dealer also, besides having a recommendation, they do carry their own specific brand of stuff to apply to this, just to clean it. A lot of times you just want just some type of rubber dressing just to protect them from the UV light, which can dry them out over time. Now, beyond cleaning the sunroof rails and rubber gaskets, you can also clean just the inside cavities here that go around the sunroof. Now, this doesn't really affect the operation of the sunroof itself, but what it does, it's kind of a preventative maintenance as well, because what can happen is any of this loose debris can blow up when you do have the sunroof open and go back into the rails, and you don't want that happening, because after all that work you've done in cleaning the rails and reapplying a new lubrication, basically you'll have to do it over again. And simply to clean that out, all you use is just soap and water for that as well. Now, as for sunroof maintenance, I would normally recommend doing this at least once a year. In my situation here, the spring's coming up, so I will be using the sunroof as opposed to the winter time when you don't use the sunroof. So for the warmer months, you want to make sure you do get that done ahead of time, because a lot of time in the winter time, any of the driving, a lot of the debris on the roads and stuff can kind of get in places where you don't want them to, and that can affect the operation of the sunroof. And this does ensure that during those nice warm months, everything is all operational. Now, this concludes the rest of my tutorial. If you have any comments or questions, please don't hesitate to post them below. Also, please subscribe to my channel and like my video. Thank you for watching.